Good morning. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. This morning I am going to do a quick ebook review for you. And this is a pretty good book that I found on Amazon. It's only 99 cents, so you can't really go wrong. So here it is. We're going to go to this ebook for you amateur radio operators and shortwave listeners, and it's a book by Robert Patterson, and it's Amateur Radio Tips, Ideas, and Projects. And of course this includes people who are just shortwave listeners. And this gentleman put together over the years a list of little tips and ideas and little projects that you can do to improve your amateur radio operation and or shortwave listening. So I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. It's not a real big book, but it's definitely I think is useful. So here we go. We're going to jump around. I'm not going to show you everything because we get in trouble if we did that. So we're going to go through these bookmarks that I'm put. And here's the first one, which is the contents. It's not really a table of contents, and there's no page numbers or anything, but it's just a listing of everything that's in this book, and both in the area of tips and ideas and little projects. So here we go. Let's see what we got. And I'm just picking out a few of them to show you as examples. Now here's one thing that I've learned to do, both for my computers and my radios, especially in the case of my radios, is my antennas. I have a number of coax cables that come to the house, and sometimes I don't know which one's which. So I've gotten to where I use these little labels that usually are found in a flea market or a store to mark prices. And I use the one here on the left, and I put that on the cable and write a little description of which antenna this is. Also, another thing, since I've got a lot of shortwave radios and scanners that use these little power adapters, I do the same thing with them now. And then I write a little label that tells me what this power adapter goes with what radio or scanner. And that way I don't have to sit there and try to figure out which one is which. Okay, so those are kind of cool. Let's go down to the next one. Now this one, this is kind of interesting because this is kind of old school here, using a cassette tape deck for recording reception, be it off your shortwave radio or off your scanner radio. And of course this has been replaced, not totally. I mean, a good cassette deck is still, very viable. But some other things you can get nowadays is you can get little digital recorders, which are pretty handy because you don't have to deal with tapes. Or even better yet, which is what I'm into nowadays, is using a piece of software on my computer to record activities off of my radios. So that's something to have in your shack, either your amateur radio shack or your shortwave listening shack. So let's go to the next one. This is something I need to do, is when I'm doing my shows and doing recordings in my office or in my workshop, I really need some kind of indicator to tell the rest of the family, don't come in while I'm doing a recording and disturb me. Right now I just got a piece of paper I stick on the door, but this would be even better because a lot of times there's papers on the door and I forget to take them down, and so people kind of ignore them. So I need to make myself a little light, and here he's showing to use a bicycle light. That's kind of a cool idea, pretty self-contained, and let people know that you're on the air. So that's kind of a handy thing. Okay, here's another thing that again I use, especially when I'm testing projects or radios or whatever, is one of these little, and I have a video about it, one of these little AM/FM radios that also act as a amplifier. And like I say, I did a video, oh gosh, quite a while ago, about a little one. It's about 2 inches cube, and it does have an auxiliary jack for bringing in audio from a project or a radio, maybe a regenerative radio that doesn't have a built-in speaker. These work great. I mean, they give you plenty of volume, and they're not bad sounding. So that's another thing you can think about getting for your radio setup. He's got several things on antennas, how to build simple antennas, their characteristics, general information about antennas. Got a lot of tips on antennas. That's very useful. And here's a real simple antenna. He says it's connected to a dog bone isolator. That's this gray thing up here. And then here's a balun right here to match the impedance of the antenna and your coax. Like I say, he's got a number of little hints and ideas and projects for simple antennas. Okay, just about through here. Matter of fact, here's how you can build yourself a simple disc cone antenna for shortwave listening up in the upper bands, above 30 megahertz. I think this one is designed for the 2 meter and 70 centimeter amateur radio band. So that's another one. And I think we're about at the end here. Is that all my bookmarks? Yes, that's all my bookmarks. Again, let me go to the very end here. This is the gentleman, Bob Patterson. Says he served in both as a Marine and in the Army. And he's been into amateur radio for 58 years. So he's got some background, and he does a pretty good job. Like I say, you can get this ebook off of Amazon, and it's 99 cents. Well worth 99 cents, even if you only find one thing in here that might be useful to you. And like I say, I've just shown you a small sample of what's in this book. So that's for the show for today. If you enjoy these ebook reviews, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment, and I'll continue to do this. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.